Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. I am wanting to discuss with you because I did come across an article earlier, and I want to give a bigger perspective on, does a college degree guarantee or always necessarily equal higher pay? Of course, guys, as you're coming into the live, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or like the video wherever you are seeing this. Welcome, welcome, of course, Mr. Still Rocks. We appreciate you joining the chat and the live tonight. As always, we appreciate your support and, of course, join in on the conversation as we proceed. So, before we get into this, I want to make sure you guys have a good idea of where I am, where this conversation is coming from, and why I got why I got inspired to even talk about this today. Let me go ahead and say this. My perspective, of course, I will be sharing all throughout the live, and also giving you guys some additional resources as to how this truly applies in the job market today. So this is an article from cheeseburger.com. Of course, MSN is always showing these articles, and it was written by Ali Perry. It was written yesterday. Pretty much the title says, entitled college graduates get roasted for complaining that entry-level marketing jobs pay less than a server. Of course, guys, we're going to touch on the industry that they're talking about in this article, as well as examples of how college degrees can benefit you and increase your own personal economy, as well as industries where it does not profit you. So let's jump in here initially. As part of the generation that grew up during the 2008 financial crisis, I've spent most of my life with the creeping suspicion that I may never be better off than my parents. This feeling is kind of softened. This feeling kind of softened the blow of doing one degree that any tech bro would sneer at as employable. Yet another relating to an industry that is notoriously unstable and poorly paid. Won't somebody think of my student loans? Guess I wish somebody could think of mine too. How about that? Um, in work, I've always took what I could get, and as somebody without a trust fund, I accepted that this was going to involve some time in the trenches of the miserable minimum wage. We've talked about that on this channel. Minimum wage is not going to cut it. It was the same deal for many of my friends. I would have assumed that many young people feel similarly, but I've recently been exposed to one TikToker who was rudely set, who has rudely set the record straight. The college graduate attracted the wrong type of attention for complaining that being a server paid more than the jobs that she had been applying to that required business marketing degree. Despairing over the fact that her purely academic background shut her out of immediately landing a six-figure role, she cussed out corporate America and championed for championing education over the all that important work experience. This caused confusion on Twitter, where viewers were not impressed with her aggressive naivety. Surely, it's common knowledge by now that finding your first graduation job is difficult. And here's a young lady that was talking about this situation. Guys, let's listen. I want us to hear her entire pretty much what she's talking about. Of course, Still Rocks. What are you saying? I'm going to say no. One of the biggest misconceptions I had, same here, that there are too many, there's still so many certs that people can get, and after a 4-year degree, depending on what field that they're in. That is absolutely correct, and we are going to touch on that in a little bit. But let's hear what she had to say, because she was ranting and raving from what I understand. So let's hear her out, shall we? Oh. Yeah. Um, yeah, we gonna have to whoo, uh-oh. Samry, you can't hear the video? Uh-oh. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Let me read. I'm gonna play that video again. Let me make sure. Let me stop sharing for a moment and let me go ahead and present once again. Um Follow these steps to share the audio. Okay. Yeah, we want to make sure that you hear everything she said because ma'am. There's so much to this. Hold on one second. Also, yep. Let's switch off and on. Also share the audio. Here we are. So let's go ahead and do that one more time for me. Please, guys, let me know if you're hearing the audio on this video, okay?
I have a bone to pick with America! So I'm headed to my serving job. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I want to make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt.
Drop a one in the comments if you
and I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs fucking for weeks now, and the pay cut is insane. But the jobs that are like a cute 150 to 200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old. My birthday soon. Almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience!
Actually, no, it wasn't, but okay.
Honey, relax.
Okay. All right, you guys heard that, right? Thank you very much for confirming that you can hear. Number one, she has a couple of things incorrect there.
I have
a
phone to pick with America. So I'm headed.
Okay, so let's pause her for a second. Let's hear the comments from let's hear the comments from TikTok, shall we? Or this looks like
to my
Twitter.
serving.
This looks like Twitter. I think it's time people stop being so gullible. Now somebody else commented, nice ride for $80K in debt and $10 coffee. Ouch. Another commenter said, I literally made $30K in my first marketing job. Why would anyone make $200K with no experience? We're going to touch on that in a second. Somebody else commented and said the degree was the experience. No, it was not, sweetheart. I think I figured out why she can't get hired. Wow. Oh yeah, they're lightly roasting her, all right. Somebody else commented, why can't we just all start at the top of our profession? Oh. Another person commented, the server job is the only thing keeping this girl's ego within orbit. All right. Another person said, if you're under like 28, I don't buy that you were told all you need to do is go to college and you'll be fine, because I was told since elementary school that a bachelor's degree isn't what it used to be. You are absolutely correct. And we are living in 2023. The times are very different. We're going to get into that in a second. Another person commented, if you think getting a degree will get you hired, I promise it will not, because you're also competing with people that taught themselves and can come to the table with a unique POV, and lots of people are the most brilliant I've ever worked with. Okay. So somebody else said, how to get experience? Work the entry-level job. Then you'll make more money as time goes on. I thought everyone knew this. Apparently not. Somebody else said, Sue Sunroofs. She's good. Somebody else said degrees, particularly bachelors, are proving to have basic knowledge in the field. Experience comes from actually doing a thing, and experience counts far more than the degree sometimes. Yeah, it is absolutely correct. Somebody else said, well, aside from paying $80K for a marketing degree being completely stupid, the reason why you start low wage in marketing is because they sort through hundreds of them to find the top 13 that will make the most money. Somebody else said, wait, I'm sorry, she's mad at her entry-level positions aren't paying her $200 a year with just an undergraduate degree? Very few fields pay $150 to $200K for the first year employees, and most of those require an advanced degree. What? And you guys get the point. They have pretty much told her, darling, get over yourself. Wake up and smell a dose of reality, because that's exactly what she needs. Now, I will say this in regards to this particular article. Of course, Samurai said there are some majors in colleges some colleges shouldn't offer. Yeah, you have a good point there. In her particular case, if you're going to be in marketing, you don't necessarily need a degree for that. You can actually get an entry-level job in marketing, and if you work, when I say work, I mean be able to market, learn how to sell, learn sales techniques. You don't have to have a degree for that. A lot of the degrees you can actually, some of those degrees are nonsense. And we are in 2023 where there are a lot more employers welcoming your experience more than they'll welcoming your degree. So guys, I want to make sure that in this particular instance, she's entitled, but unfortunately, she's entitled and she's in the wrong field to even be entitled. If you work your butt off and you can really prove and you can show and you can learn sales, you can make 150, 200K in no time in the right sales position as a sales consultant or as an account executive for, let's say, IT software. It all depends on the situation. And it also depends on the industry that you are in. Unfortunately for her, she decided to go for a marketing degree, which is not a bad thing, but she has to gain the experience. And in order for you to gain the experience, you got to start at the entry-level place. And, unfortunately, she's kind of between a rock and a hard place. You got to decide, are you going to use your degree, or is your degree going to punk you out of $80,000? That is a question I'm sure she will have to answer for herself. Now, I brought that article up because I don't want you guys to think that a college degree is not valuable, because it absolutely is. In certain sectors, it is. It makes a huge difference between what you make without it and what you make with it and what you make without it. Now I'm going to use the pharmacy industry as a prime example, right? If you can see here, I'm on the website. I actually put the website's address in the chat, ownitonline.org, where we're looking at pharmacy techs, right? And the job description pretty much, describes what clerical tasks for the pharmacist. They're pretty much there to help assist the pharmacist. You can go through this on your own. But the training and credentials required for a pharmacy tech. Community college, because a lot of pharmacy tech programs are either certificate degrees or some form of either associate of science or associate of arts. It just depends on the school you go to. It is showing, of course, I just used North Carolina as an example of what it will take. It may take one, but less than 2 years, or up to 2 years to qualify for that. So, how much money does a pharmacy tech typically make? In the state of, you can go in any state, guys. In North Carolina, typically their median range here, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the graph. Median range for a pharmacy tech in North Carolina, it can range from 29,000 all the way to 47 to 50,000, depending on where you are in the country and how much experience you're coming with. Now that is for pharmacy techs, right? That gives you a better idea as far as what they can make. Okay, go ahead. Still Rock says, working in the higher education and being around 7 to 20-year-olds, at least in my area, they won't listen. Yes, I can attest to that. They get these visions of grandeur and want degrees that they want the degrees they want without considering any factors. 2 of these websites that I put in the chat are the 2 first places they should go to make sure that they are, that they know how much it's going to pay. If you're going to spend $80K on a degree, you at least need to know what the returns are going to be when you do so. Okay. Let's see here. Of course, the dogs in my neighborhood wants to also participate in this live as well. Now, that's pretty much the pay grade for pharmacy techs. Now, let's take a look and see the difference between pharmacy techs and pharmacists. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's pull up the pharmacists information. Okay, let's see here. That's pharmacy tech. Now we're going to look at pharmacists. Pharmacists, of course, that's going to be at the very least a 4-year degree. You can get your doctorate in this particular industry. Let's go back here so we can see. So that's the training that's going to be required. So what is, you see the educational level, doctoral required, bachelor's, but most of those programs are doctoral programs. Now look at the salary range difference for pharmacists. They, depending on United States, ranges from, let's say, $80K all the way to $164,000 a year. North Carolina, we're using the North Carolina example here, from $90K all the way to $160K. So that gives you a better semblance of what a pharmacist is going to offer versus what a pharmacy tech is going to offer as far as salary. Let's see here. So with that, guys, most college age students, I'm not sure if they didn't know that they have these resources to look this stuff up, but they need to be on these websites helping to map out their professional careers, looking to see, well, number one, is this a career path I want to follow? Is it worth it? Because if you're going to go into a field and it's not paying what you want, you might want to consider something else. It doesn't necessarily have to be a field that requires a college degree, because I can almost guarantee you there are plumbers, which is an industrial skill, that makes twice as much as any pharmacist any given day of the week, especially if they have experience and they run their own company. So it's not necessarily about the degree. All depends on the industry you are in. And it also depends on the experience you have, and what you do with that experience. For example, I've been in human resources for what, more than 20 years now, and entry level HR coordinators are going to make very different money than someone that has 20 years of experience. 20 years of experience in HR, because HR has so many different specialties. There's benefits administration in HR, there's employee relations in HR, there's recruitment or talent acquisition, same difference. There's leave management in HR, there's absence management in HR, there's, oh geez, there's occupational health in HR. There's all different factors within that specific industry. I'm sorry, compensation specialist in HR. There's different facets within the human resources umbrella. And in order for you to be able to significantly um, be involved or get yourself involved in a career path, you at least need to understand what it is that you're getting into. And BLS.gov and ownetonline.org, which is what I put in the chat earlier, are two places you can start doing your research, start formulating, okay, I'm just going to use the word forensic science, become a forensic scientist. What's involved in that? What's the job description? What's the job description entail? How long am I going to need to be in school? How much is it going to cost? If you guys are going to have an economic plan, please start from a place of, we can't do pie in the sky. Unfortunately, Still Rock says the 7 to 20-year-olds are operating from a dream sequence place. We have to get real, folks. We have to get real and we have to get raw. These degrees are not going to pay for themselves. So I would appreciate young people using the resources. The internet is here for everybody to use. Please use it wisely. Don't just use your phone. Your phone is a literal walking computer these days. Please do not use your phone just to be on TikTok. Please do not use your phone just to be on YouTube. If you are going to be on YouTube, at the very least, use the information to be able to answer valid questions. If you're going to go ahead and spend $80,000 on a degree, please make sure the degree is worth it. Because if I had spoken to this young lady before she started college, I would have told her not to get a marketing degree. You literally can get a certification. You don't even need a certification. You need to just get a job in that particular field and go ahead and get the experience, because in that field, they value the experience more anyway, which is exactly why they start you off that low. And then a lot of your pay in the areas of marketing and sales come from commissions. That means you have to do the grunt work and you got to sell. It's not going to come with, oh, I have a degree, so I'm entitled to. There's no entitlement. You got to work for what you want. So I say all of that to say, if you have young people that are in college right now and they say they want to be a basket weaver, please tell them to reconsider their career. There's no career path for that. But if they want to be a pharmacist, then you can actually go on ownet.org, ownetonline.org, look to see where your career track is, what's involved, and then you can also, that's the beginning pieces of getting the research done for that particular field of study. I just use that as an example, and you can look up the salary range by state. You can also look up the salary range by what's involved, by country as well. But guys, I want you to be able to not be fooled by the pie in the sky, shiny object syndrome when it comes to these universities. Some field of study does not require a degree. Some actually do. Of course, pharmacies, you want to make sure that you're prescribing the right drugs to people, or you're dispensing the proper drugs. It's going to require that much school. So in every area, in every industry, there are areas that require a degree, or it requires some form of certification, IT being one of them. IT has, just like HR, has very different facets. They have cybersecurity, software development, technical writing. Oh gosh, we could be here talking about those all day and all night. Still Rocks has another thing. She probably changed majors a few times, and she had to have some. She had she had to have been using those refund checks to live on. That's probably true. No way that 80K was racked up under normal circumstances. Well, Still Rocks. It's a very high possibility because I forgot what I think I was listening to a documentary by Anthony O'Neill about debt-free degrees. And I'm hearing a lot of these schools are charging $40K a year to go. $40K a year. I'm going to community college, man. That's too expensive. $40,000 a year? Yikes. And also depends, it depends on how long ago she graduated. You have some schools charging that kind of money these days, so it's not impossible to rack up that kind of debt. All right, Miss Denise. Hello. Welcome to the Let's Get Our Economic Plan Together show, because this is really what this is about. As college degrees does not, I repeat, I am going to say this, does not guarantee a higher paying job. It depends on the industry you are in. We went over earlier the difference between pharmacy tech versus being a pharmacist. Different requirements, but it also it also puts you in a better position if you decide to spend a little bit more time in school. Of course, Miss Denise made a very valid point here as well. Education is a business in this country, and that's a shame. You ain't never lied. There's so much to it. There's so much to that. There's so much to that statement. But I will say this. It all depends on the industry you're in. Getting an education, like obtaining certifications, the list for IT certifications are endless. But just like any other profession or any other industry, entry level is not going to start you off at 150, 200K unless you're coming with some experience or coming with some transferable skills. You have contractors that know how to build a house from the ground up, where they just need building materials, a hammer, and some hands. But that didn't happen overnight. They didn't build those skills overnight. So what I will say is this, guys, if you have teenagers in your home, if you have young adults in your home that have no idea what they want to do with their life as far as their career is concerned, I do have a resource available. It's called From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional. I want to make sure that you guys have all that you need. You can go to mentorshelley.com/book to grab that. And all the resources I talked about tonight is in that book, so they can truly put their economic plan in place and not walk into some of these universities spending $80K on a degree that they could have literally, what they needed to learn could have been learned on an entry-level job that did not require a degree. And of course, our folks that have been through some things, they want to make some changes in their career. Any changes you want to make, folks, those resources are available to you as well. Let's say I wanted to make a change from HR to IT. What area in IT did I want to make the change from? Of course, I'm going to use those same resources to see what transferable skills do I have in what sector of IT, and make those changes to start looking for opportunities in those areas. If it requires a certification, then I'm just going to have to buckle down a couple months or a couple weeks, depending on how long the certification takes, and make the necessary changes and put my plan in action. That is really what it takes, folks. But of course, guys, if you are looking for help to rearrange your whole career, or you're looking for help to structure the career that you truly want versus the one you're stuck in, I am definitely here to help. You can go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. Of course, you can leave a voicemail or an email message if you have regular questions, just regular questions in regards to what I can do now, or, that may not be so involved. You can go to mentorshelley.com/contact, where you can leave me a voicemail or an email message. I am more than happy to return your voicemail or email within 24 hours. At the end of the day, guys, I want you to understand, it's not the college degree. It's what you do with that college degree, and also what industry that college degree is in. It's not necessarily just about the degree in and of itself. Number one, I could have gone to school for, I could have gone to school for something as simple as teaching, right? I could have gone to school for teaching, but I hate to break it to you, unless you plan on spending 20, 30 years in the school system, teaching doesn't pay very well. And that's based on the teachers I know personally, and what onetonline.org tells you. So I can use that experience and become a consultant and become an independent instructor or a corporate trainer, where there's more money involved with using a lot of those same skills. So the skills, whether you get them through college, whether you get them through experience, your skills are going to be what's most important. And there are a lot of employers now that are looking more for skills than they are a degree. So keep that in mind when you are looking for your next opportunity. If you have some experience under your belt, great. And you want to make sure you structure that experience right. I do have some resources that is available on my website, which is going to be published in the next few weeks, as far as how to structure your resume that people want to read. So I have some other things coming up down the pike. But guys, I want you guys to be aware, it's not about the college degree in and of itself. It's how you use it and what industry it is in. Of course, guys, if you have any other questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat now, or you can send the question to mentorshelley.com/contact. I do return the voicemails and emails within 24 hours. Guys, it was a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much for all of you that came to the live tonight. Still rocks. We appreciate you. Samurai Bliss, thank you so much for participating in the chat. Denise, Joe, and all of those other folks that come in that join us for the live but do not speak up. Still rocks. We appreciate you as always, Denise, and everyone that participated. Thank you so much. And of course, this is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Of course, guys, a college degree does not guarantee a higher paying job. The skills you acquire from that college degree and the skills you acquire from your experience means more. All right, guys, take care and you have a good one. Bye.